The overtime giveth and the overtime taketh away. Yesterday here on this channel, we gave about 4 picks. 3 of those games went to overtime. And that's where they decide our fate, in overtime. 3 on 3. 1 went our way, 2 didn't go our way. But I got to be honest, the one that stabbed was the Islanders. It's like almost halfway through the third, not just because I'm an Islanders fan. I see 2-0, a team that's coming off of a shutout. They've shut out the opponent for almost 5.5 straight periods. I changed it to the Bruins game. I'm like, that under sealed, that Islander win is sealed. Let's try to get this Bruins game. And then I'm looking at the bottom, I see 2-2. And then I turn out 3-2, 3-3. What is going on here? You want to talk about trick or treat on Halloween? Well, they tricked me. It was all tricks, few treats. One of those, it was a Teddy KGB night for me because I feel like the reads were good. Freaking Winnipeg up all game on the Rangers. Classic. The conundrum Rangers get outplayed yet again. Saved by the power play in Shesterkin yet again. Rely on a Zibanejad 3-on-3 overtime yet again. It's unbelievable. The straight up loss was the Dallas game. I'll look down the pipe and say, I was wrong. Those other ones, it's tough. You know, when it goes to overtime, that is trick-or-treaters territory on Halloween. And always remember, if you are going to be, giving kids candy, make sure you're giving them real treats, okay? I don't want to see you open up that door. You're sitting here criticizing picks in these videos. Meanwhile, you're dishing out candy corn from CVS on Halloween. You better not have candy corn in your house. And don't say, no, people like, nobody's hoping. Every kid I've ever known, when you open that door, they want to see that Snickers. They want to see the Hershey's with almonds. They want to see the Reese's. They want to see the Kit Kats. They want to see the Twix. They want to see the Snickers. And they don't want to see Milky Way, one of the all-time scam chocolate bars. It's the yellow starburst of chocolate bars. It's the Back to the Future 3 of chocolate bars. It's like your brother went into a Snickers, took out all the peanuts, took out all the good taste and said, here's what's left. So no Milky Way. Make sure you're giving kids that good chocolate, and I will try to give you some good picks, despite the fact that we got 2 games that when you look at these 2, tell me these don't look like, oh, here goes 2 more that are going to overtime. Should we be taking +1.5? Should we be betting the overtime bet? I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but these do smell like they could have some overtime potential. You have 2 playoff teams, 2 quality teams in the Leafs. They're hosting the LA Kings, and the Leafs are coming off an extremely impressive, I think, 4-1 victory over Dallas. Dallas hasn't even really lost a game in regulation, and then they handled them. You guys know my policy on Toronto, and it's mostly played out over the early part of this season so far. They play up to competition. They play down to competition. They lose to the Predators, another shootout or overtime, but they beat Dallas, which is no easy feat. Who's on the menu for tonight? It's basically, if it's a playoff team, I'll lean towards Toronto. Non-playoff team, I'll lean towards the puck line on the other team. We got LA, a good team. I would expect Toronto to be ready to play this one. It ain't going to be a walk in the park. LA, I'm pretty high on them this year. I really like what they've done these last few years. But if I'm leaning a certain direction, it's going to be Toronto. I'll stick with the philosophy. Show me a good team. Toronto will show you a good time. I'll take Toronto to find a way to pull this one out. I'm not going to be surprised if LA wins. They're a really good team. So, if I do think both teams will go over 1.5, so each teams will score 2. And if you're able to do that and add Toronto at +1.5 in a same game parlay, things like that have me, in these overtime days, things like that have me sleeping a little bit nicer. Like a couple nights back when Vancouver was playing the Rangers, I said, man, Vancouver's been playing so well at home. I need to find a way to get a little piece of them. And that's what I did. I went both teams over 1.5 with Vancouver +1.5. And tell me that one doesn't sound great again tonight. Both teams over 1.5 in that Vancouver game and Vancouver +1.5. They've thrown 2 beatings at home and outplayed the Rangers at home and conceded a couple power play goals. One was like a 5-on-3, and they lost on 3-on-3 coin flip Harvey Dent overtime. But if you can find a way to get them at plus 1.5 at home, I really like it. I think they're going to win. As long as they continue to play like they've been playing at home, they should win. They should be able to beat this Nashville team. But, you say it out loud. It's Nashville at Vancouver. This one also could kind of go either way. But I do like those both teams over 1.5 to get Vancouver at plus 1.5. But also, I think both of these games will have 2+ goals for each team. So if you put that together for each of those games, that's actually plus money. As far as player props for that Vancouver game, I'm going to take the Elias Pettersson over 2.5 shots on goal. He's been playing unbelievable hockey. It's a contract year for him. I wish I could take his points, but they set it to 1.5. And against a team like Nashville, where sometimes these games are kind of low scoring and crusty, I'll steer clear of that one. But I will take his over 2.5 shots on goal. I do like a point from Roman Josi. That's another one that I like in there. So if you want to, mix and match, you can put those together in a same game parlay. And also, by the way, anybody who was watching the NFL video, I do have to apologize. I got into a rant about how to grumble like a pirate and say the word parlay while giving out a parlay. And I forgot to give out the parlay. And I ended up putting it in my Sniff Central chat and apologizing. And on my Twitter, one of the many reasons you should be following me on social media. Also, I had a midday revelation. I'm like, wait a minute. The Hurricanes, they won those 2 home games like we thought they were. And they're playing Philly, and Philly's kind of trending the wrong direction. I like those Carolina Hurricanes, but I didn't give it out in this video. So I went to my Sniff Central chat. I put it there, and there was one plus 380 same game parlay on there that anybody who saw was able to enjoy. I had the under 2.5 goals for Philly with a Carolina win and a Teravainen point and an under 7.5 total. It was like plus 360, plus 380. So just make sure you're following me on social media so you guys can get those, latest random things that I throw out there if you want them. That's all up to you. But also for certain, with these 2 games on the table, you can absolutely take advantage of the Caesar Sportsbook promotion that we have, where your first bet, any of those things I gave you today, both teams over 1.5, any both of those games for plus money, you want to do 1,000 on that? If you lose, you're going to have that 1,000 waiting for you in bonus bets if you happen to lose that bet. Hopefully, you don't have to worry about that. But if you do lose, you got that 1,000 waiting in bonus bets in your account. As long as you're a new user, over 21, and you are located in a state or province where sports betting is permitted. And always remember, if you have a problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Somebody will be there to help you out, even on Halloween. You think they're going to give you the treatment? The trick or treatment? I don't know. But we got more games tomorrow. We have, a few more than today. Today's only 2, but, there's a good lot of them on Wednesday. I think there's like 5 or 6 games. We will talk about that tomorrow. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Subscribe to the Odd Shopper channel here. Like I had mentioned earlier, follow me on social media, and I will see you tomorrow.